set.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Listen, I want to thank everybody for being here as we report on this devastating tragedy. Texans across the state are saddened by the tragic loss of life and the storms that have now claimed at least 7 lives. There's no information that there's more than that who will be found deceased, but we know at least 7 have lost their lives. Another, at least about 100 people have been injured. It's hard to tell with certainty right now on that number, but based upon those who have already reported, as well as information from local officials, we estimate there being close to 100 people who were injured. More than 200 homes and structures were listed as destroyed. Another more than 120 were listed as damaged. I'll be shocked if those numbers are not increased as further assessments are made. And right behind us is a gas station which has now gone viral across the country. I saw the harrowing video inside the Valley View gas station as the tornado passed through, with the people stockpiled in there clinging to safety. It truly is a miracle that everybody made it through the devastation that destroyed that gas station, that they made it out alive. Candidly, it's been a harrowing week with lives lost, property reduced to rubble. The hopes and dreams of Texas families and small businesses have literally been crushed by storm after storm. This storm that we are talking about right now is a storm where the tornadic activity traversed about 50 miles. That may not include even further areas around here where there is even more damage being reported. At the same time that we are going through the heart-wrenching loss of life, including the heartbreak of a family losing a 2-year-old and a 5-year-old child. When they woke up yesterday, they had no way of knowing how the family would be literally crushed by this horrific storm. But we've seen, amidst all of this tragedy, some heroism by people behind me, heroism by people who will never be known. We've had first responders step up and be involved in rescuing people, perhaps saving lives. The volunteer fire departments in this region have received rave reviews for their response to these storms. Texas Task Force 1, which is involved in search and rescue operations, has been their typical outstanding self. Law enforcement has stepped up and helped out. Local, state, and federal officials have all been a part of this solution process. But in typical Texas fashion, we have friends and neighbors and fellow Texans just helping out one another. And that's what we have come to see time and again in our state. It's one thing that makes Texas so exceptional, and that's the character of our fellow Texans who will drop everything to help out their fellow residents. It's a reminder that our lives, they're not measured by the adversity that we face. Instead, they're measured by how we respond to that adversity. Texans are responding with our typical care, love, and generosity that we have for one another. We know that it's not only this region that we're in right now that's been devastated by destructive storms. It's happened all across the state. Before today, I've already declared a disaster in 102 counties across the state. At this moment, I'm going to add 4 more counties to that count. I've just signed a disaster declaration that adds Denton, Collin, Cook, and Montague counties to the state disaster declaration. So there are now 106 Texas counties subject to a gubernatorial disaster declaration. That's more than a third of all Texas counties that are now subject to a disaster declaration. Earlier today, I spoke with the FEMA administrator. It's the second time in a week that I've spoken with her. She has pledged support to work with the state, local communities, and our residents as we go through the process of healing and recovery. Also want to thank Tony Robinson. Tony, where are you? Right here. Tony Robinson is the regional administrator for FEMA. Tony is from and lives in Denton County. We're proud to have you from Denton County, Tony, and thank you for everything that you've done. The Texas Division of Emergency Management has provided a rapid response to all of these locations around the entire state of Texas that have been affected by these storms. They've been saving and protecting lives and property. They've been assisting local governments with all of their local needs and assisting local residents with their very profound challenges. The Texas Department of Transportation has been working nonstop since this storm hit, working to clear lanes, remove debris, and provide temporary traffic signals where needed. The Texas Department of Public Safety, of course, is always involved in a response like this, ensuring that they're able to maintain safety and security on our streets and in our neighborhoods. The Texas Military Department, the Texas National Guard, they're involved in helping our local communities respond in various different ways. And the Texas Forest Service has stepped up and are helping out to clear trees as well as other debris to make sure that the debris removal process will be able to accelerate. I also want to thank some elected officials who are with us here today, including Congressman Michael Burgess, State Representatives Spiller and Stuckey, Cook County Judge Roan, Cook County Sheriff Sappington, Texas Division of Emergency Management Assistant Chief Kevin Starbuck. We now move into a different stage as we respond to this devastating storm. Texas will remain engaged and involved with these communities until that process is completed. The first thing we're doing, which is going on as we speak, and that is to make a final round of search and rescue operations just to see if there's anybody else out there who needs to be rescued. Then we move to full aid, support, and supplies, where people need immediate assistance. And we have great volunteer organizations that stepped up and started providing that overnight. For example, on aid and supplies, we have Valley View Methodist Church providing food and water. There may be some others providing food and water also at the same time. I would not be surprised. There's an urgent need for housing for all these people who have been displaced. Temporarily, the First Baptist Church Community Center is taking a lead in providing that, as well as the Red Cross. And very importantly, anybody, this is information that you as the media need to be a part of it in getting out, and that is anybody who's been harmed in any way by the storm. If you have insurance, you need to make sure you contact your insurance company ASAP. Get them involved in the process. The other thing is, we as a state, whether it be State of Texas Division of Emergency Management or local officials, all of us are working together on a similar project, and that is to make damage assessments. In order for Texas and this region to be able to qualify for federal assistance, we have to submit information to FEMA about the total damage assessments. I need the media to help us out by getting this website address out, and that is damage.tdem.texas.gov. That's the website you go to report any type of damage. Again, that's damage.tdem.texas.gov. Also, as you can just tell by looking around, one of our foremost tasks right now is to be involved in the debris removal process. That process will continue until we remove every last part of debris. And then we get into the rebuild phase. Again, if you have lost a home or other structure, you need to first look to your insurance company to see if you have coverage. If you do, they will be first in line to make sure you receive the money that you need to rebuild. In addition to that, there will be the possibility of disaster assistance, and again, that goes back to reporting damage to damage.tdem.texas.gov. You know, amidst this rubble, when arriving here today, I drove up this road right in front of us. As I was driving up that road, you could see all of these RVs that were crushed and truly nothing more than rubble. You see what's behind you and what's in front of you. Nothing but debris. But also there is one thing that remains flapping in the wind. And that's the flag of the United States of America. I'm proud of America and our state for coming together at times like these. And my urge to everybody across our state, take a moment in time tonight to say a prayer for everybody who is in harm's way. They need your prayers. They need your support. And God willing, we will help them rebuild their lives as quickly as possible. Now I want to turn to Judge Rowan, County Judge of Cook County.
I would like to, first of all, thank everyone that's here. I would like to thank everyone who has taken part in the effort since last night, since the horrible storm that we had. I would like to compliment and thank the commissioners of Cook County, who all have been here since countless hours since yesterday, taking care of debris, taking care of people, taking care of whatever needs to be done. I'd like to make sure that Ray Fletcher and the TDEM people that have been here, and all other people that have come here, get their recognition. And at this point in time, to follow up on what the governor just said, I would like to take just a moment, if you would, and I would like everyone on your own just to say a silent prayer for those that we have lost, our neighbors, our friends, and those of Cook County that are no longer with us. And if you would, please, just a silent prayer, and I'll finish up in just a second. Thank you very much. Mine was much like the one I said last night when I was sitting on my house in Lee Street, watching the tornado on the radar head right straight for us. And that prayer, I think, it's the only thing that saved it from collapsing us, just like you see here today. I thank you very much, and thank everybody that's taken part in this, and the press, and everybody else. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge. And now Ray Fletcher, the Cook County Emergency Management Coordinator.
Thank you, Governor. Well, we appreciate everybody being here today, and of course remembering those we've lost. But you know, the effort that it takes to respond to an event like this and have a unified command where everybody shows up to help. No egos showed up. Everybody knew they had a job to do, and they were going to do whatever it took to help out and save as many people as we could and make this environment safe. It's a great opportunity for everyone to work together, and they did a great job doing that. Our job continues, as you said. We'll continue with the secondary assessment now, and then tomorrow we'll start getting on the debris management issues and coordinating with all of the folks that did lose their house to try to help them find a meaningful way to gain housing again. It's no small feat, and it's going to take the entire community as well as our volunteer organizations the Red Cross especially, to do that. We also have a very strong agency. We call it our VOAD, or Volunteer Agencies Active in Disaster, and that's going to be a big help for us. They help mix or match the needs with the resources that are provided. And so if anybody would like to make a cash donation to help out these people who have been significantly impacted by this, you can contact the First United Bank in Gainesville and tell them you want to contribute to the VOAD Disaster Fund, and your funds will be used to specifically assist with this event. And again, just thank you all for being here. Thank all of our responders, the commissioners. Again, it takes a team and it takes a region that is willing to come together and help each other out in this time.
Thank you very much, Ray. And now Kevin Starbuck, the Assistant Chief of the Texas Division of Emergency Management.
Okay. Good afternoon, and I'd like to start off with just the importance of preparedness. Here in the state of Texas, we have a very dynamic spring season. We've seen it across the entire state with impacts down in the Houston area, southeast Texas, and certainly central Texas, and now even last night with the devastation here in North Texas. I can't stress enough how important it is for citizens to be prepared, to take some time to create a family disaster plan, to build a disaster supply kit, to have supplies for the first 72 hours, to be self-sustaining and to be ready for that. And then lastly, to stay weather aware, to stay informed of the hazards in our community. We had great partnerships with our National Weather Service and with others, so we're putting out warning well in advance. We were communicating with all of our local partners and state partners the threat that existed yesterday. And unfortunately, Mother Nature worked against us, but we were up to the challenge and responded. And our thoughts and prayers go to every one of those families that were impacted and lost loved ones or had loved ones that were injured. We continue to work together, and we will work with Cook County and all the counties that were impacted last night to continue to rebuild and assist them in any way we can from the state side, and certainly coordinating with our federal partners. Lastly, as the governor has already alluded to, it's so important for us to have a total size up of the damage that exists when we have these major storms. So going to our website at damage.tdem.texas.gov is so important for us to get that information reported so that we can work with our local officials, with our state and federal counterparts to ensure that we maximize the assistance that is available to those that have been impacted. I appreciate it very much, Governor. Thank you.
And thank you all, and thanks to everybody working around the clock to help these communities rebuild. Are there any questions we can try to help you answer?
Kevin, can you talk a little bit about the advanced warning that was given to residents of Valley View? Were the sirens activated, and how much time did they have to get to a safe place?
I'm going to defer to our local county officials, because warning is a authority of our local jurisdictions. And while we certainly work with our National Weather Service partner and from a state perspective to communicate general information on the threat of weather across the area, local officials are tasked with warning systems and how they communicate warning.
That particular cell, I believe, originated in Montague County well before 10 o'clock, probably around 9:30, 9:40. And as it came across the southern end, bottom edge of Montague County toward Forestburg, it had a tornado warning on it that extended into Cook County. So Cook County residents got a tornado warning probably 20 to 25 minutes before that storm hit the county line. Once it did come into the county, another warning was issued to specifically draw that tornado into Cook County and provide that more warning. My understanding is the impact in the county was somewhere between 10:20 and 10:40 in last night.
Mr. Fletcher, can you talk a little bit about the situation that happened behind you? I think there's some conflicting reports on how many people were actually inside, what happened. Obviously, we see the devastation. So how many people actually were in the bathroom, for example?
I don't know how many. I don't know how many was in any particular location. My understanding is, and as you know, driving up here, there's not a lot of structure around here to take refuge in. And so people on the interstate primarily sought refuge in this place, this AP Travel Center truck stop. And my understanding is there were approximately 125 people inside there when the tornado did hit, and that were then gotten rescued or taken out of there. Most of the vehicles, as you can see, are damaged and in a very unsafe environment right now. So until we can get in here and get this cleaned up better, and we'll try to do it as fast as we can to get them back their vehicles.
Has anybody killed at this location?
No.
Not at this
Go ahead.
Governor Justin Michaels with the Weather Channel. Is there an active search ongoing right now for people who have been reported missing?
So as of right now, I am told there's no one reported missing. That said, we are making one last round of searches to make sure there is no one missing.
Governor, of the 106 counties that have been declared as disaster areas, is that for this year as a whole? And if so, is that unusual to have that many counties declared as a disaster?
So that's for this season. There were some other things earlier, like as an example, you remember the fires that took place in the Panhandle and things like that. Doesn't count that. It's talking about because of the tornadoes and floods that Texas has seen over the past couple of weeks.
What sort of monetary damage does that make in the state?
I'm going to break this down into two areas. Have him answer one, then I'll answer the other one, because you ask a question more important than you may know. In order for Texas to qualify for FEMA support, we have to reach a certain amount of damages. Why don't you explain how much it is and the type of damage that it is?
Yes,
then I'll answer the bigger question.
So there are two major categories of disaster assistance that we work with our federal counterparts. The first one is what we call individual assistance, and as that alludes to, that's direct assistance to homeowners that have been impacted. Typically, that requires 800 homes, major or destroyed, that are underinsured or don't have insurance. So we have been working very closely with our federal counterparts. That is a rough number. It gives and takes a little bit, but the state of Texas has exceeded that threshold, and now we are working with our federal partners on identifying county by county pockets of damage that would qualify that county for that disaster assistance. And that opens up a lot of individual assistance directly to homeowners and individuals that have been impacted by the disaster. The second piece of it is our major disaster declaration for public assistance that is designed to rebuild public infrastructure that has been damaged or destroyed in a disaster. Very similarly, the state has a threshold, and it's based on a per capita basis, but our threshold is in excess of about $54.5 million. With this current round of disasters that began back on April 26th, the state of Texas has exceeded that threshold with the damage that occurred down in the Houston and Southeast Texas area. We now continue to look county by county for areas where we have pockets of public infrastructure that has been damaged or destroyed, and work with our federal counterparts to exceed their county thresholds to then make them eligible for grant dollars from the federal government to start to rebuild that infrastructure and bring those communities back. We feel that the 4 counties that were added to the declaration today, every one of them we feel will exceed that individual assistance declaration and will be added to the federal declaration for individual assistance. Public assistance will continue to navigate that and look at the damages to public infrastructure, but as we see here in Cook County, the vast majority of that damage is to private property and individual homes. So it may not exceed that public assistance threshold, but we certainly are never going to stop until we overturn every rock and look over every piece of information to make sure that we maximize the potential benefit to our communities that are impacted and the individuals that have lost so much. Ray also mentioned, and I think very importantly, the importance of our volunteer organizations active in disaster in providing assistance to those that are impacted. There are so many opportunities to go to those classic agencies that we all know, the Salvation Army, the Red Cross, Team Rubicon, and others. But as Ray alluded, there is a local fund that will help individuals directly here in Cook County. And we will see likely very similar funds that will be opened up in every county that has been impacted by last night's storms and other storms that have occurred prior to this.
Do you know how many people in the 4 counties have had power knocked out, what the timeline looks like to restore that?
So it's my understanding, as we get here today, there's about 38,000 people still without power right now. Encore is the major power provider to most of those folks, and they're working around the clock as we speak right now to try to get them back online. There's one local power company, Pentex, where you said it may be a couple of days or something like that.
They're hoping to have the last of it done tomorrow evening.
I'm sorry, last of it will be done tomorrow evening for Pentex. I think there's some wire lines that need to be put up.
Governor, has the National Weather Service assessed the strength of the tornado yet?
So they have. We got a report on it, and if you don't mind, we can call her up. She can. Why don't you come on up? You can step right here. Step on in here, or you can have a seat, and she'll give you the full report.
So the question was about the assessment with the rating of this tornado so far. I do want to say, first of all, our prayers go out to all of those who were affected. It's unfortunate that an event and a tragedy like this is bringing us here together today. And as he said, the recovery efforts and the community coming together is going to be a big aspect of it. There is a lot of cleanup that has to be done. We still are not quite exactly sure how many tornadoes there have been. It's a puzzle piece we're going to have to put together as this circulation persisted and reformed a couple of times. Here in the Valley View area where we are right now is one of our highest rated areas. Right now we are rating it at a higher end EF2 with near 135 mile per hour winds. So we still have work to do over the next 1 to 3 days to assess how many tornadoes and find additional ratings. I don't have the ones in front of me for Montague, other parts of Denton, and we have a team in Collin County right now. Maybe have to extend into Hunt County at some point too, but that's where we stand right now.
You said 135?
135 preliminary maximum estimated winds here, yes.
Maximum gusts or is this
That'd be gusts. Or associated with the tornado. Yeah.
Governor,
Go
as
ahead.
you manage this catastrophe, your team here does more than 100 counties in Texas dealing with emergency declarations that you have signed. We're coming 6 days to 6 hours until hurricane season starts, and you're still managing all of these catastrophes. How is Texas doing as you go into yet another type of severe weather season, and every indication is that's going to be enacted?
Texans, time and again, prove very resilient. And time and again, especially the folks on the Gulf Coast that have been through Hurricane Harvey and so many other tragedies like that, they come together, they rebuild very rapidly. They're very resilient. We're seeing the same thing here in Cook County. And so we will piece our lives back together, get back to business, rebuild families. There's only one thing that cannot be rebuilt, and that's the loss of life. That's why we always stress to everybody, whatever you do in any type of storm, put life first. Protect life at whatever cost you can, because life is irreplaceable.
Governor, you mentioned the number of homes destroyed and damaged. Do you have a number for businesses that are destroyed or damaged as well?
I do not.
It's not a very high number at this time. Most of it was residential and rural properties.
Okay.
Can you repeat the number of fatalities in Cook County?
Sure. Unfortunately, there are 7 people who lost their lives.
What are the ages of those?
I know about the 2 and 5 year old.
2 to 72.
2 to 72.
Are we expecting any more?
We're not. Thank y'all very much.